Hello and welcome back, or welcome in for those of you that are new. In this video, I'll be sharing the planning or outlining process of short story number 9 in the GrayBird Tales collection. For this one, I went with the cursed librarian kind of theme. I'd like to use this story as a gateway in order to expand upon the stories I've already told and sort of link all of them together. That's not to say it won't be a standalone like the others. So I'd like to introduce a character and a place that will appear in my future projects within this universe. As always, I'll begin with the general information and premise, basically setting the rules I want to follow for this story. And I'd like to start with the point of view. I think I'll go with a third person point of view for this one. As for the word count, I'll make it as long or short as the previous stories. The concept. Like I said, I want to go for a cursed librarian type of thing. Similarly to the character in the story Cold Hearts, at some point in history their ancestors were burdened with a task, a specific one, that will keep them and the entirety of the town safe from harm. A task that only the members of that family and their descendants can accomplish or perform. The story will give a snippet of this librarian's day-to-day life. I'll call her Emily. I think I'd like to tell the story through the perspective of another inhabitant of the town. Of the place, a library, or a bookshop. Now, for the core of the story, is that, like many other places in GrayBird, this library is a special place. The story revolves around Emily being the descendant of the library's keepers. Again, only members of her family can undertake the task of keeping it. She's not special per se, but something happened centuries ago in time of her ancestors that got the family stuck with that burden. Emily has to live and work by a certain set of rules. I think it'll be interesting to go over them in this story. Moving on to the actual outlining. As always, with the usual structure, the beginning, the middle section, and then the ending. Starting with the beginning. First, we have the introduction of Emily through the eyes of another character that will come to discover Emily's way of life, essentially. Not much else, really. Going to the middle section part. This is where I want to put more details. After the introduction of the characters and getting the gist of their personality a bit, I want to dive deeper into the phenomena that is the library, starting with questions that the character of point of view will ask. This is a part where Emily, speaks about the rules she has to follow every day for the rest of her life. She basically shows the hidden facade that she's never shown to anyone before. In the end, unlike the rest of the stories that ended with a twist or a tragic and depressing ending, I'd like for this one to be more simple, even though Emily's fate remains tied to the library. So while the story does introduce us to her, it focuses more on the rules she has to abide by and the way that has shaped her life. Again, this is just an introduction to the phenomena. I'm not going to show what happens if one of the rules is broken. Not yet. That's another story for another time. To summarize, an inhabitant of GrayBird shows up at this sort of infamous bookstore or library in town. And through their eyes, the readers will be introduced to Emily, the keeper. From then, things snowball and we get to learn more and more about this cursed library. Now, as you can see, these are mainly just pointers for me to find my way as I'm writing. It's not too tight of a plan. I'm leaving the details to my imagination as I actually write the story. And if I decide to make changes to the initial plan, then so be it. That is my process. Setting rules and guidelines, following them, and then making changes throughout the creative process. And if the rules have to change in order to accommodate my new ideas, then that's how it'll be. As long as I note the changes down in order to keep track of things and not get lost when I get back to the story, or if I want to write a continuation to it. I think that's going to be it for this video. If you are interested in reading the finished story I've planned in this video, you can find the link below where all of the 10 short stories are available. Who knows, you might actually like them. Thank you for watching. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or perhaps even a comment, or subscribe if you want. I do hope to see you very soon for another video. But until then, take care of yourselves and bye-bye.